Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sumukascha Ekadantascha Kapilo Kajakarnakaha Lambodharascha Vikato Vignarajo Vinayakaha Dhumaketurganadhyakshaha Palachandro Gajananaha Vakratundaha Surpakarno Herambaha Skandapurvajaha Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvavignopasantaye Yasyadvarada Vaktradhyaha Parishadhyaha Parastatam Vignam Nidhanti Satatam Vishvaksenam Tamasriye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheswaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. With Swami's case, let us continue from where we left off last time. We came up to Vrishahi Vrishabho Vishnur Vrishaparva Vrishodaraha. Right? So now let us continue from there, from where we left off. Next one is Vardhano Vardhamanascha Viviktas Srutisagaraha. Vardhanaha Vardhamanaha Viviktaha Srutisagaraha. Okay, there are four names here. Vardhanaha, Vardhanam, Vardham, as we all colloquially we use. This means something that keeps multiplying. And everything in this prapancham, including within our own body, that we all know, there are things that keep on multiplying, right? That multiplying aspect, that growing aspect is, there is a creation, then there is a growth also. Then there is a change that takes place, and then there is a decline and finally dissolution, right? So the growing aspect of everything has got a tendency to grow, to multiply. And in a materialistic sense, when we have some money, we want to make it grow, right? What is the tendency that wants us to make it grow? Instead of saying this is enough and let it stay the way it is, but we want it to multiply, right? And that tendency that is present in prapancham, including within our own mind, is the wanting more and more of it. That is Vardhanaha. Vardhamanaha. The tendency to multiply is Vardhanaha. Then the thing that appears in the form of growth, the thing that appears big in the form of more and more, the multiplied form, that is Vardhamanaha. That is why the whole prapancham has been is expanding. It's always becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, right? That is Vardhamanaha. And then Viviktaha, even though there is a tendency to grow and multiply, even though the thing appears bigger and bigger and bigger, but there is another aspect of Bhagavan that remains absolutely untouched by all this. That's a constancy among all the growth. It doesn't change at all. It does not increase. It does not decrease. It remains changeless because it remains untouched by the growth that is taking place. That is Viviktaha. Shruti Sagaraha. Now, where did the Vedas and all come from? Bhagavan's, we say, is the breath of Bhagavan is the Vedas. Now, what is this breath? You can picture a huge ocean, and then there are waves that come out of it, isn't it? So the ocean is Shruti Sagaram. That is the ocean of all the Shrutis, of all the Vedas, all the scriptures, the Omkaram, that is the basis of whole creation, from which the whole creation has emerged. That is the huge ocean. And from there, these different waves come in the form of Vedas, right? So Shruti Sagaram. And this ocean, physically we can picture it. Now if you can picture it, if you can close your eyes and just look to the love that is within each one of us, then you can see how this ocean of love actually sends out the waves, which appears as Vedas, which appears as various animals, which appears as various human beings, right? And we are all just waves from that ocean of love, nothing but that. And what is the difference between an ocean and a wave? Really, there is no difference. Physically, yes, the wave comes and recedes and then it disappears. No, but actually, the tanmay, the essence, the rasam that is present in the wave and the ocean are one and the same. So there is no difference between the things that have appeared and the thing that does not appear. The thing that remains constant and the things that grows. There is no difference at all. But he appears in these various forms and the various aspects and tendencies. So Viviktaha, Srutisagaraha, Subhujaha. Subhujaha. Bhujam means shoulder. Subhujam means Sankara Bhagavad says there is a certain, when we look at shoulders, we immediately associate it with strength, isn't it? And there is a certain amount of strength required to protect the thing that has been created, protect the whole prapancham and the various beings that are moving about, right? Everything has to be protected and requires a certain strength. And Subhujaha denotes that one who is the one whose shoulders are so supreme and sacred, and he has this exalted shoulders. Another way to look at that is as Kulasekara Alvar experiences Bhagavan's shoulders. It's like the waves of love and attraction and the loveliness that comes out of the shoulders that you can't take your eyes off it. That is Subhujaha. Vardhano Vardhamanascha Viviktas Srutisagaraha. Subhujo, next is it. Subhujo Durdharo Vagmi Mahendro Vasudo Vasuhu. Subhujaha Durdharaha Vagmi Mahendraha Vasudaha Vasuhu. Durdharaha. Durdharaha is one whose, as Sankara Bhagavad Padar explains, one who is supporting everything, but he himself does not require any support. That is one meaning of Durdharaha. Dhara means to support. Dur means far away from, right? That means, like we say, Duram. And it means without any other support. He doesn't have any support, but he supports everything. Durdharaha, that is one meaning. Then another meaning, another explanation Acharya gives is that those of us who seek moksham, those of us who seek the company of Bhagavan and undertake dhyanam and to concentrate and keep focused and bring the mind one-pointed on Bhagavan's form. And what happens when you try to do that? It makes it, the form doesn't stay, right? There is a certain struggle, there is a certain hard work, a persistence and a perseverance that is required. So the aspect of Swami that makes it very difficult for you to keep focused on him. In other words, the waywardness of our mind, the aspect of our waywardness of mind, and the aspect that makes it difficult. Difficult is the word, because you have to work hard in order to control the waywardness of mind and calm it down and keep it one single focused. That aspect of making it difficult to happen, that is Durdharaha. Durdharaha. Vagmi. Now, what makes, when you hear Veda Mantram recited properly by people who have learned it properly and who have done the Adhyanam, and with Bhagavan grace also have the spiritual discipline, when they recite Vedangal, it is actually a divine sound, isn't it? Even though I don't understand the meaning, close my eyes and just hear it, listen to it, it transports you to the proximity of divinity itself. What is it that is so powerful about that? So that is Vagmi, one who's present in the Sabdam of Vedangal. Also, when I speak lovingly to someone, when I utter consoling words of love, somebody who's suffering, right? And what is the sweetness that appears there, that is transported, that spreads through the words that I speak? That sweetness is Vagmi. That divinity that is present is Vagmi. And Mahendraha, Maha-Indraha, is the Lord of all lords, is the Maha-Indraha, the Ishvara for everyone. Ishvara means the one who has Aisvaryam, right? The repository of Aisvaryam. We have seen this before. And one of the Aisvaryam aspect is lordship, right? And when I see Bhagavan, automatically my palms get together and I do namaskaram. Automatically, my eyes close. Why do I close my eyes when I go to the temple and stand in front of Garbhagraham? Right? When I pray to Bhagavan, when I pray, wherever I pray, doesn't matter. Why do my eyes close and immediately there is a certain obedience that comes automatically, right? What happened to, like the way Duryodhana did when Krishna entered there, right, into the thing, in spite of all the promises and the resolution Duryodhana had made, and he told all his people, right, Karnan and the Dushasana and Shaguni and everybody, not a single person should get up from your seat, okay? Let us humiliate this guy who is coming here in the guise of a messenger. But as soon as Krishna entered the hall, what happened? All of them got up from their chair and immediately they all did namaskaram. What is it about Bhagavan? And this happens. Everybody will do that. That lordship aspect, okay, is Mahendraha. And we call it Parameswara, not just Iswara, but Parameswara is a supreme most. And even all the Devadi all, even Mahalakshmi herself, Brahma himself, everybody, automatically does that worship. That's the power of prema. Selfless love does that. When somebody is extremely loving and is very selfless, automatically you do that namaskaram. When you think of Kanchi Paramacharya, for example, even now, Manasigama, mentally, you worship them. Why? It is not the body that you are worshipping. It is not the beauty of the body, it is a sense of the sacrifice and the selflessness and the love that is born, that is manifesting through that selflessness. And that is what we all worship. All of us worship. It doesn't matter who I am, whether I may be the wealthiest person, poorest person, most educated, most powerful, maybe a beggar on the street. It really doesn't matter. Absolutely, these are meaningless. And everybody bows and automatically, not but physically, mentally. And that is the power of prema. That is Mahendraha, Vasudaha, Vasudaha, right? Vasudaha. Daha means to give, okay? Vasu means wealth. And what type of wealth we are talking of? Yes, this is in this case Dhanam. This is materialistic wealth that we are talking of. And Vasudaha, one who grants, one who gives, when we might have seen in our life, some people work hard, very hard, but somehow or other they don't, the enough amount of, or the lots of wealth does not come their way. Some people do not even work hard, but tremendous amount of wealth comes their way. And some people are just happen to be born in extremely wealthy family. They don't have to do any work at all. And some people have wealth shows up in the form of hereditary properties. So many ways, our mental algorithm of working hard and that is equal to lots of wealth does not work all the time. There is something else happening there. That Daha, that Bhagavan who gives wealth, okay, based upon, he knows what has happened in the previous birth, what's going to happen in the future birth, everything. So what he manifests is exactly according to this law of justice. So that the person who grants that wealth is Vasudaha. Next is Vasuhu. Subhujo Durdharo Vagmi Mahendro Vasudo Vasuhu. Vasuhu is, one meaning is one who is present, manifesting as wealth, as what we call as money, right? Whether it's gold or paper currency, doesn't matter. What we call as wealth, materialistic wealth, is Vasuhu. That is one meaning. And another meaning of Vasuhu is one who hides himself. The hides his reality through something that is not real, the unreality. That's what we call as Maya, right? One who's hiding behind that. So one who makes us take something to be unreal as real, right? That is what I'm leading my life on, basically on the basis of unreality, and that is why I'm not peaceful. It's as simple as that. But what is this aspect of Swami? One who's hiding and behind a veil, so to speak, behind a projection, so to speak. That aspect of Swami is Vasuhu, another meaning. And another explanation Bhagavad Padal gives is that there are various what we call as planets, right, in the space, right? Could be the various globes, not only planets but globes. Surya is there, Chandran is there, Nakshatram is there, right? All these are Vasus. See, another meaning of that is Vasu is the various spatial, what we call as in English, spatial objects. Okay, they're all living forms. Okay, who are undergone lots of tapas and emanating their own effulgence. Most of the stars and stuff like that. So we have to look at it that way. So that is also Vasuhu. Subhujo Turdharo Vagmi Mahendro Vasudo Vasuhu. Now, the various aspects of Swami has been described like this, right? He is Vardhanaha, he is Vardhamanaha, he is Siddharthaha, he is Siddhi Sadhanaha. All these things, we were sharing that with an all-pervasive prema that is appearing, making us cognize it in multiple ways, different ways. Now, the next few mantras are going to describe the all-pervasiveness of that aspect of Bhagavan. Naika Rupo Brihat Rupas Sipivishta Prakashanaha. Naika Rupaha Brihat Rupaha Sipivishtaha Prakashanaha. Okay, so there are four namas. Naika Rupaha, na Eka Rupaha. That means not one form. Many forms, infinite forms, right? That we know. We have seen this several times. Every person each one of us, each one of us on this conference call, and people who are not on the conference call, and myself speaking here on the other end, and everybody, every form is Bhagavan only. Naika Rupa. He is appearing in infinite forms. And not only physically, whatever I imagine, he appears like that. That is also Swami. I can sit here and imagine something happening in the distant corner of the universe or back in India or wherever. What that happening in my mind is Swami only. His imagination is Swami only. Brihat Rupaha. Brihat Rupaha. Sankara Bhagavad says it came as Varaha Avataram, and to lift the Mother Earth, Bhudevi, right? And that is Brihat Rupam. And when he fought with Hiranyakshan, how gigantically he grew in size. Just imagine, right? It's a phenomenal battle that took place between Hiranyaksha and Varaha. And this Varaha Avataram just came and kept on growing in size. So huge it became. That is what Sankara Bhagavad explains as Brihat Rupam, Brihat Rupam. The Parasara Bhattar explains as saying, whatever form that Swami takes, right, it is so huge that it occupies the whole of space without leaving even the slightest gap. Imagine. How is it possible? The Rama had, he was only so tall, and he was walking like a human being, and that's the way we think, because of the various, and Avatar Purusham comes in a way that we can relate to it. What is this meaning of occupying the whole space without leaving any gap in between? Just think, every form that our mind generates, okay, and what happens to that particular form when I think of it or when I create it in my mind? I mean, it is present everywhere in my mind, isn't it? And my mind is the universe. The whole prapancham is only my mind. Without leaving any gap, just picture a lamp in your mind, right? Just picture a lamp. You don't even have to focus it. Just picture it. That whole form of that lamp occupies the whole of your mind. It is not like it is occupying 50% and 10% of the mind, remaining the others to think of something else. It isn't it? That aspect is that present Brihat Rupam, present everywhere, is Brihat Rupam. Naika Rupo Brihat Rupas Sipi Vishtaha. Now, we have the rays of sun. Scientifically, we explain. Sun is there so many miles away, and the rays of sun comes in the form of light and gives us energy and all that, life form and all that. Who's present in the form of these rays that is coming? That is Sipi Vishtaha. And when we talk about light, you go and turn the switch on in a room and the light comes, it's immediately the whole thing becomes bright. But everything we call as light waves, isn't it? And these are the rays of light. And that's what's giving the effulgence. And who's present in the form of these rays of light? That is Sipi Vishtaha. Prakashanaha, naturally, because he is present in the form of light rays, he's also making everything appear effulgent and bright. And interestingly, it's not only the physical form of light, as we have discussed several times before, even when my mind pictures something, right, that also has got a certain effulgence, isn't it? You may be sitting in a dark room physically, it doesn't matter. That prakasham also comes from the rays of light. So the rays of light are not limited to the light that we see as electricity or sun or whatever, but it is also the thing that gives effulgence to effulgence itself. So it is present. Those rays we are talking of. And so prakashanaha. Ojas tejo dhyutidaraha. So here ojaha, tejaha, dhyutidaraha. So we can break it down like that, or we can take it as one namam. And ojaha in strength. Okay? And tejas. So Vajaha is strength. Tejas is the effulgence that manifests, that appears due to sacrifice. The more sacrifice I make, the more effulgent I become. There is a certain glow that happens around my body, every aspect of my body, right? And due to sacrifice, it takes place. Right? That is tejas. And it's also described as parakramam. Parakramam means it's not just strength, but it is the non-dependability on anything. Right? We're all depending on something. The more selfless I become, the less support I really need. Because ultimately, when I become selflessness itself, I don't need any other support. This is the beauty And that glows, that gives a certain prakasam, that is tejas. That is also parakramam. And so Ojaha, the one who's present, the strength aspect of strength itself, what we call something as strong, mentally strong or physically strong, doesn't matter. Whatever strength we say, there is the aspect of strength that gives strength to strength itself is Vajaha. Tejaha is the sacrificial aspect, the glow that comes out of it, and the support that gives to everything else and supports everything else, which itself does not require any support at all. That parakramam, that aspect is tejaha. Jyoti dharaha. Jyoti, the moment you see Jyoti, that is prakasam, that is effulgence only. And where does the effulgence come from? We should not think immediately physical effulgence. When there is a certain effulgence that comes because of knowledge. We call as ajnanam, as we say, is ignorance, right? And ignorance is also so tamosoma jyotirgamaya. We say, the scriptures teach us that. Tamas means darkness also. Ignorance, that is why we have a mouse as the vehicle for Ganesha. And that denotes the darkness, which is ignorance, which is lack of knowledge, right? But opposite of that, the moment the knowledge reveals itself, what happens? There's an effulgence that comes with that, isn't it? That effulgence is what? Dhyuti, dharaha. Dharaha is the ojas dharaha, the one who's the supporter, the present as ojas in all the strength. He is tejas dharaha. He is the sacrificial aspect that is present in sacrifice itself. That is tejas dharaha. Then dhyuti dharaha, the effulgence, the knowledge that present in effulgence appears and manifests itself as effulgence. Dharaha is a supporter of all that. Ojas tejo dhyuti dharaha. Then ojas tejo dhyuti dharaha. Prakashatma pratapanaha. Prakasha Atma. We just saw that Jnana Swarupam has got the effulgence. That is Prakasham Atma. The Atma is, when say indweller, it is not resident in me. I am resident in it. Please remember. Yes, the Narayana Suktam beautifully says where it is present, how it is spread all through my body. But it is that effulgence, that light, that is the bluish-white light, so cool and present in all directions. And that Atma is Prakasham, is effulgence only. And that is Prakashatma. And that is the light of knowledge, Jnanam. When Jnanam reveals itself, along with that, there is a Prakasham, effulgence. That is Prakashatma. And Pratapanaha. Pratapanaha. The moment pra comes, we know it immediately denotes Bhagavan, the company of Bhagavan, sacredness, supremeness, right? All these things we know. And pra. And tapam. Tapam is the yearning is one way. Another way is when you yearn for something, there is a certain heat that is produced, isn't it? And well, if we say paschatapam, purva tapam. Paschatapam, for example, if you take, most of us do that, is when something goes wrong and I did not plan it right, I did not think through right, or we go, oh my God, I wish I had not done that. We call it as regret. Oh, I wish I had done it differently, because we are suffering, right, of something that we didn't think through and take it through properly. But Arjuna refused to do that. He thought through. That is why we all have been blessed with the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. So paschatapam. So paschatapam is to do something without proper thinking through and suffering the consequences. Now purvatapam is to think through properly. Hey, you know what? If I do this, this difficulty could come. This could be a problem. And analyzing all that. And therefore, not undertaking actions that would result in sufferings later. That is what Arjuna did, Purvatapam. So that is why Krishna taught him the Bhagavad Gita, because of that aspect. And that's why he did not teach Yudhishthira Bhagavad Gita also. He himself says why I chose Arjuna to teach this. And that Purvatapam and Pachatapam. Important word that I want to hear is Tapam. Tapam is, we call it as suffering, which is nothing but mental heat. So the heat is the aspect, Pratapanaha. When Surya Bhagavan shines on me, I go and stand under the sun. Let's say at 100-degree temperature, I stand outside. What happens? The tremendous heat. My whole skin and all starts burning almost. So much heat on my body, isn't it? That aspect, that Ushnam, through not only Surya Bhagavan gives us light, but Surya Bhagavan also gives us heat. That aspect, the heating aspect, is Pratapanaha. And same way, when I surrendered to Swami, so-called all the enemies I have, the 6 enemies I have within me, who appears in the various forms around me, because it's all my reflection and reaction and resound. And it's, truly speaking, there is no external enemy. All the enemies are internal only. And so, but who's the one who pulverizes and through the heat actually destroys all these enemies I have? That is also Pratapanaha. And that is nothing but the cool vision of selfless love. Prema has this power, nothing else. Only Prema has this power to destroy all. Even though Prema is so cool and so soft and so kind and compassionate and so inclusive and expansive and non-judgmental and indestructible, but in spite of all that, it has the ability to generate the heat and destroy. Heat means fire. Fire means something that pulverizes everything, destroys everything. So that aspect is also Pratapanaha. Ojas Tejo Dutidara Prakashatma Pratapanaha. I think with Swami's grace, let us stop there today. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om.